All right. So now we have everything wired up. I just plugged in my laser. Okay, I didn't turn it on though. All right, the power switch is off. Gave it power back there. Okay, make sure you understand that there is live power back here. Don't touch this backside, right? Okay. I also plugged in the USB to my computer. Okay, so right now I also downloaded Laser Gribble and started it up. So here's Laser Gribble running. Now I don't know which COM it's on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up this COM folder here, unplug it, unplug the laser from the USB. Okay, so I just saw COM6 disappear, and I plugged it in, and I saw COM6 reappear. So I know the laser's on COM6, okay? Now I'm not going to hit connect yet. I have to actually flash the firmware first. So I'm going to go to Tools and Flash Gribble Firmware. Okay? Our target is an Arduino Uno. Target's the Uno. The firmware, we're going to do custom XY homing, right? We don't have a Z to home. Whenever you have a Z to home, that's the first thing it homes. And so it's going to lift up the Z, right? And then home everything else. It's safer that way. But since this doesn't have a Z, it's just going to hang there if we do a homing cycle. So we're going to do custom XY homing. Okay. COM6, we just verified this is on COM6, and I'm going to hit OK. And am I sure I want to flash this new firmware? I am sure. All right. And there it goes. It's writing our firmware to it. And it's reading it to make sure that it wrote correctly. All right. So then you should have this dialog that says firmware flash successful. Should say flash successful. That's all right. Cool. Okay. Now under my COM here, I can go to COM6, and now I can hit connect. And I have this little message right here. That message was generated by the Arduino back there on the machine. Okay, it wasn't generated in this program. Okay, but we got to change a ton of settings for this to work, okay? So I'm going to have a series eventually on just Gerbil itself. So for now, just do what I do, okay? So first of all, up here I typed in the money sign. That's to access our registers, okay? Registers are the data registers inside the Arduino chip that we can store settings in. So that way we bring it to any computer and it'll work the exact same, okay? So I typed in money up here in the console, right? And hit enter. And it showed me all these settings. Now, it'll only show me these settings if it's connected, right? So make sure you're connected. It gave you that message. All these settings, it pulled from the Arduino itself, okay? So if you did the 20-tooth pulley or 20-tooth sprockets for your motors, you're going to be 80 steps per millimeter, okay? So money sign 100 equals 80. Okay? Money sign 101 equals 80. Okay? Now, if you did the 16-tooth, you'll set that to 100 instead of 80. Okay? Next thing we're going to do is the maximum rate. Okay? If you got the dual head, set your maximum rate to, I don't know, 1200, maybe 1500 if you want to push it, if you want to tune your drivers up a bit. I'm not going to show you how to tune up your drivers. I'm just going to leave the drivers where they came by default and work off that. But if you have a single head, set your 120 to 18,000. If you have a dual head, set your 120 to 1200. So I have a dual head. So money sign, 110, not 120. 110 equals 1200 or 12,000. Sorry, 12,000. Okay. Money sign 111. So that's the maximum speed left and right, 110, right? Maximum speed up and down along the y-axis. That's your 111. I'm going to bring that down to, I don't know, 8,000? Maybe 6,000. It doesn't need to go fast along that axis. Okay? So 111 equals 6,000. So if you don't understand what all these settings mean, that's all right. Just follow along with what I'm typing in. Money sign 100 equals 80. Money sign 101 equals 80, right? Just copy all this stuff, And in the next month or so, I should have a whole Gerbil series also uploaded, which hopefully explains to you what's going on here. Okay. Next thing, our money sign 120, our acceleration speed. So I've got a dual head, so I'm going to have to accelerate a little slower. So I'm going to go with 1200. Okay, money sign 120 equals 1200. If I have a single head, I'll probably put that at about 3000. Okay, and then we're going to do money sign 121 equals, I don't know, 350. There we go. Okay, now our 130 and our 131 we're going to have to figure out, okay? But that's after we get the homing cycle set up. So I'm going to scroll up on my bar here, and down here we have a couple other settings, right? What we need to do is turn on our soft limits. Well, we'll turn on the homing cycle first. So homing cycle is register 22, right? So money sign 22 equals 1. That means on or true or yes. Okay, so right now it's at 0. I type in money sign 22 equals 1, and now it's going to be turned on. It doesn't show here, right? But if I scroll down, it shows that it was accepted. So if I type in money again, and I scroll up to where that 22 was, it shows 1 now, right? Because I re-inquired what the settings are, and it showed me what the latest settings are, okay? So my homing cycle was actually set up correctly. It's in the back right, so I don't need to invert anything, okay? If you need to invert anything, if you need to invert X, plus add 1 to that cycle. If you need to invert Y, add 2. So if you look at the little video here, if your Y is homing this way, that's going to be 2 for the invert. If you're going this way and this way, that's going to be 3, right? So 1 plus 2 is 3. So right now it's at 0 and 0. So our homing direction is set correctly. For this build anyways, okay? Now we have our cycle enable, 22, that's right. Okay? We have our homing direction set correctly. It's going to the back right. Okay? The feed rate, the homing locate feed rate. So what it's going to do, it's just going to quickly, as quick as convenient, go and touch these end stops, right? It's going to touch them, and then it's going to pull off a little, and then touch them really slow and gently to try to get that perfect setting there. So we're going to set that speed here. So number 20, or money sign 24, is at gentle speed. So money 24 equals, I don't know, 70. That's fine for this. Okay. And then we have the fast rate, money sign 25. I'm going to set that to like 4,000. Money sign 25 equals, I'll set it to 3,000. I'll be careful here. Okay. And then debounce, if we're having noise issues, we can play with the debounce on it. Okay, pull off. So if you remember what I said, it touches it, it pulls off a little bit, and then slowly touches it. We need to make sure it pulls off enough to actually deactivate the switch, and then slowly touches it to reactivate it. On these end switches, 1 millimeter is probably fine, but 2 millimeters is even finer. Okay, so money sign 27 equals 2. So now we should have a homing cycle here, okay? Okay, gonna keep going down. Make sure all of our other settings are set up. We'll turn on soft limits in just a little bit here. We're not gonna turn them on yet because we need to figure out our full range of motion first. Okay, what else do we got? Oh, we got spindle speed. Money sign 30. Money sign 30 equals 255. Okay. And then our laser mode. We're going to have our laser mode running. So money sign 32 equals 1. Okay. So I'm going to make sure everything's in there. I'm going to type in money. I'm going to scroll down first, right? All these settings I put in. It's got a check mark, which means I wrote them right. If you do not have the green check mark, make sure you wrote it correctly, right? It should give you an error or like a red X. And to verify they're in there, I'm going to type in money. And I'm going to go over all these, okay? So we got 22 equals 1. Okay, that's correct. And then 24 equals 70. Okay, 25 equals 3000. That's good. Okay, 27 equals 2 millimeters. That's good. Okay. Whoops. Oh, that's all right. Okay, 30 right here. 30 equals 255. 32 equals 1 for laser mode. Okay. 100 equals 80. 101 equals 80. 110 equals 12,000. 111 equals 6,000. Okay. 120 equals 1,200. 121 equals 350. Okay. I've got all these settings in here now, right? Okay. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Gerbil menu here and select Gerbil configuration. What that's going to do is my Gerbil program will read all the settings inside and adjust all the sliders and the buttons to match it. Okay. Okay. So at this point now I'm going to turn my machine on. Okay. This is going to be the first time I turn it on. The power supply might take a little while to actually charge up and equalize before it actually flips on. So don't be surprised, like, if it takes 10 seconds to turn on, okay? So here I go. Oh, my laser switch is in the middle here. It's on the off position, okay? So I'm going to reach around and turn my laser on. Okay, flipped it on. Waiting. Oh, yes. One thing I forgot. One big thing I forgot. I never put a fuse in my plug. So this will not turn on. I've done this before and said, oh, there's a fuse in the plug. It just turned on. Never mind. Okay. So it just took a while to turn on. If yours does not turn on, make sure you have a fuse in your plug, okay? You're going to have to unplug the cable and pull that little tab out and make sure there's a fuse in there. Mine just turned on. Okay, so now I have power. I see my green light on my power supply shining right here. Okay. Now that it's on and I have Gerbil connected, if I go to the right, it should move. Yep, there it goes. I don't know if you can see the video. It's moving tiny bits. I'm going to speed it up a little bit with this slider here to 1200 and move this up a bit. Okay, to 50 and move it to the right. All right, we're moving. Okay, and now I'm going to move it up on the y-axis. Whoa, before I do that, okay, you got to be really careful here. Okay, if you don't have it wired right, you might rack the gantry. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring it to pretty slow, like 3,000 or so, and have it move about 5 millimeters. There we go. And I'm going to push up. So let's see which direction it goes. Mine goes up. Okay, and they both go up. If one was pulling up and one was pulling down, we might have an issue. But mine goes up. And if I go to the right, mine goes to the right. Okay, let's say yours is not going the correct way, right? You press right and it's going left, or you press up and it's going down. That's pretty easy to fix, okay? So I'm going to type in money, and we're going to look at direction invert. So I'm going to scroll up here and step direction invert, okay? So that's money sign 3. So if I'm going the wrong way in the X direction, I'm going to add 1. If I'm going the wrong way in the Y direction, I'm going to add 2, okay? So if they're both going the wrong way, I'm going to type in money sign 3 equals 3, right? If it's just going wrong direction in the Y direction, money sign 3 equals 2. So I'll do that right here. I'll make mine work wrong, right? So I'm typing money sign 3 equals 2. Enter. Okay. And now as I push up, you'll see the gantry coming closer, right? Going the wrong way. And I'm going to push down now. And the gantry's going that way. So I'm going to fix that by typing money sign 3 equals 0. And now as I push up, it's going up. As I push down, it's going down. All right. Cool. Okay, so I got the directions. It's moving in the right directions. It's actually moving, which is fun. It sounds good. It sounds clean. If yours moves way too far and buzzes, you might have forgotten to put your micro step jumpers on your board. So go back to setting up the Gerbil board and make sure you follow those instructions really well. Okay, so now that it's moving like that, what I'm going to do is set a homing cycle. So I'm going to hit this homing cycle button, but I'm going to be prepared to hit this reset button. Okay, so the homing cycle's right here, which it searches for home, right? It's going to go and touch those pins. If those pins are not wired correctly, it's going to run into the side and make lots of awful noises. It's not going to hurt anything really. It's just going to sound loud and obnoxious, and we got to inspect it. And if that happens, that will be another video. I'm not going to go over everything that can go wrong in these things. But as long as you follow these 30 steps, a lot of steps here correctly, then you should be fine. Okay. So here I go. I'm going to hit homing, and I'm going to be prepared to hit reset. Okay, hit that one. Oh. Something went wrong. Oh, I know it went wrong. It had to move too far over. Okay. So, let's I'll explain why that went wrong, and nothing really went wrong actually. So I'm going to type in money again. Okay. And it says my x-axis maximum travel is 200 millimeters, right? My y-axis maximum travel is 200 millimeters. If it goes 1.5 times beyond that, it's going to say fail. So what happened is my x-axis just went 300 millimeters and didn't see an end stop. Because it didn't see an end stop, it sent a fail. And so we're going to be setting those in just a second. But first we got to get it to home correctly. So I'm going to manually pull the gantry forward. I'm going to hit homing again. Oh, having issues there. Reset. Okay. I might have an issue on the x-axis homing. I'm going to find out. Yep. Okay. So I got to check all the wiring now. Okay, I'm going to hit home. Touching it by hand, not stopping. Okay, reset it. Unlock it. Bring it over here. Okay. So I'm going to check my wiring here. Now my wiring looks good there. Okay, now I'm going to check the wiring back here. Yep, I see what's wrong. Okay, I told you guys that the inner side of the end stops and the middle one is the one to solder. I have soldered my purple one to the outside of the handle. So I'm going to fix that really fast, and then I'll try homing it again. So I have my end stop wired in correctly. I have my gray to the normally open, which is right, but my purple's soldered to normally closed when it should be soldered to common. So easy fix. All right, got that fixed. Turning off the soldering iron. Okay. Now my confidence, I'm just going to hit homing again. Sorry you had to watch that. Okay, so I know the white one works. Oh, crash again, that's all right. Hit homing one more time. There we go. So it touched it, it gently pulled off and touched it, and it does that twice where it gently pulls off. Okay. Now we're homed, okay? We're at the homing point. Okay, so really close here. Next thing we need to do is I'm going to do it on my y-axis first. I'm going to start bringing my y down until it doesn't have much room left to go, okay? And in the upper right, it'll show me where I'm at in the world, okay? So I'm going to, up here in the upper right, it's going to show me where I'm at. So I'm going to come down here, okay? I know I'm down 100 millimeters. Going to hit it again, okay? And I'm going to go down to 10. And come down, come down, come down. Still got space, still got space. Still got space. Oh, getting really close now. Okay. And I guess I'll go down to 5. Oh, hit it. That's all right. Ran into something on this side. And I know what I ran into. I'll have a video on maintaining it. And I'll show you how to fix what's wrong with that side. Okay, so I'm going to hit homing again. So I was at 280. Okay, so I'm going to bring it back down to 280. I'm going to set my slider to 50. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is 250. 60, 70, and then 275. Sure. Even though I got a lot more rail, I'll show you how to fix that later too in a maintaining and fully aligning everything video. But, well, it'll be in a tips and tricks to get the most out of this machine video. Okay, so I'm at 275. I know I got a little bit of space extra, but I'm not going to mess with that right now. So I'm going to type in money sign 131 equals, what do we got up here? Negative 275. So equals 277. We'll say there's 277 millimeters of movement on the y-axis. Hit enter. Okay. Now I'm going to start moving my x over. Okay. So bring this up to 50. Sure. Okay, keep coming. Where am I at here? My x is negative 500. I'm going to do another 50. Okay. And I'm going to make sure I don't fall off. Okay, I got a little bit of rail left. So I'm going to come down to 5 and keep scooching over. There we go. That's pretty good. That's like right over the rail. The green part's beyond the rail, but the metal part's still on the rail. Okay. So where are we at here? Negative 565. That's what I'm going to set 131 to. So money, or 130. Money sign 130 equals 565. Cool. Okay. Okay. Now, move it away. Move that up a little bit. I've got all this room to move, but if I keep moving to the side here, I can crash into the edge, right? I don't know if you can hear that. I'll move the mic over there. Okay, because it's actually running into the side, which I don't want. So, to fix that here, it's got a range of motion now. So I'm going to type in my money, my register again. And we want soft limits enabled. So I'm going to bring this up. Soft limits, money sign 20. So money sign 20 equals 1. Okay. So now soft limits are enabled, right? So I'm going to do a homing cycle again. All right. So it's homed here. And now I'm just going to start coming down. Just keep hitting the down button. And now it's giving me errors, right? It says travel exceeded. It doesn't give me an X, just gives me a dash that says, hey, wait, there's an issue. Travel exceeded. But I can still move it around, right? I didn't actually crash the machine. So going to the left and travel exceeded. So now I shouldn't be able to fall off any of these edges, right? Okay. So I think I'm going to end the video here. Now that we have a lot of the settings set up. We have almost everything. We have all the register settings set up. We'll call this good. So, good job getting to this point. If you want, you really are ready to focus it and do your first engraving if you'd like. You can watch the Gerbil series or, fumble around it yourself. It's not hard to figure out. But we still have more videos to come. Thanks for watching.